Hey guys, and welcome to Dan-gler Sea Fishing. Tonight I'm at Yaverland and I'm going to try and find myself a painted ray. The other thing that does seem to come in down here, and I have seen a few of them coming in, is teabag sized turbot. So if I can't find a painted ray, I think I might try for a teabag turbot. Anyway, tonight I'm fishing with my friend Martin. Hopefully I'll bring him on later with a couple of fish. And without too much waffle, let's get fishing.
Daddy's going fishing.
Not again.
So for tonight, I'm going to try and fish with two separate rigs on each rod, and I'm going to compare and see how they work and see how each one fishes and see which one produces the most fish. So for my first rig, I've got a size 2.0, which is the same as what I've got on the other one, but this is a drop down rig. So as you can see, it clips up at the top where the rig clip is and then drops down, and then once that's released it will drop right down below the lead and then fish below the lead. So my other rig is a Bagnall bar as created by Tom Bagnall. So this one is essentially a clip down version of the drop down. So again, it's going to drop down, but on this one it's got a small wire bar here with a spring on the top and a slidable bead on the bottom so that you can adjust the amount of tension. Then you've got a cascade onto your trace coming down to your hook so that it can clip into place on the impact shield on the bottom, and then the line will just loop off, keeping all of your bait nice and streamlined in that impact. And this should get a lot of distance on it. I'm expecting this to cast a lot more like a plain lead. So baiting up, I'm going to put the same on both rods. So I've got a single sand eel, I've just topped and tailed it, and then I've got a squid body. I've gone for quite small squid because I wanted the skin quite thin, and I'm just going to wrap that around the sides to sort of create a small sort of torpedo that's sort of wrapped with a sand eel in the middle. So I'm just going to whip that up like so. Just leaving the head part of the sand eel just sticking out the bottom, just so that can really leak some flavour in. And I've just got a nice streamlined bait. Gonna have one hook sticking out the bottom and just one just nipped in the top there. And I'm gonna do the same on both rigs. Right, so the baits are out there. Initial casting wise, the Bagnall bar definitely feels like it gets a lot more compression on the rod. So there was a lot more sort of tension there. It felt like you could really get a lot more bend out of it, which did actually make it feel like it casts further. Whether it has or not, I can't tell because I can't see where it landed because we're fishing in darkness. But the initial feel between the two is it definitely felt like you could get a lot more compression on the Bagnall bar as compared to the drop down. The Bagnall bar is the blue one and the drop down is the green one. So for my setup tonight, I've got my 7HT Millionaires and they're twinned up on my Tronix Pro Xenon C6 low diameter, and I've got exactly the same on both setups. So for my baits tonight, I've got some pilchards, I've got some squid, and I've got some sand eel. The squid I've picked tonight, I've tried to find some ones that aren't too big because I find that these have slightly thinner skins, which makes them better for wrapping bullet-shaped baits so that they travel a little bit further. Oh, hello. That looked like a definite bite. We could be into our first dogfish here. So, first fish of the night, dogfish. Quite a chunky one, this one. See a really big, oh, come, stay still. See a really big belly on that. It's a female, but yeah, really fat, heavy one, that one. Definitely a dogfish. Anyway, first one in, first cast, we'll take that. Let's get this one back out there. 1-0 to the drop down.
Yeah. Is that on the just a standard squiddy?
Squid and sand eel, I got exactly the same on both. Because otherwise I didn't think it was really a comparison. So the next bait I'm going to send out on the Bagnall bar is, I've just got an anchovy and I've just taken off one side of it. I've just snipped it just past the gills there so that it's got a little bit more to hold on to. And then I'm just going to wrap that up in squid to make it a nice streamlined bait. But that's the next one I'm going to send out on the Bagnall bar. So second fish of the night, another dogfish, just come in on the drop down. Much smaller this time. But that's another one to the drop down, so 2-0 to the drop down. Let's get this guy back. So guys, sand eel and squid has been doing the business so far, but now I've got anchovy and squid on both of them, so we'll see whether that can produce anything. Preferably something different than a dogfish, but you know, I'll take a dogfish. Feels like there's a bit of weight on this one actually. Well, bugger me. You never guess what I just caught. Smoothound. Look. Well guys, new species, first Smoothound of the year. As you can see, if I hold it like that, does it look enormous? I don't think it does. It's not a very big one, but that is my first Smoothound of the year. Hopefully we can find some bigger ones, but they are amazing little creatures. I do love this species. They are incredible, but let's send this guy back and we'll see what else we can find. Hopefully find his mum or dad. So that first fish on the Bagnall bar was a small Smoothound. But that's a new species for the channel and a new species for me this year, so I am chuffed to bits with that. I know it's only tiny, but that does tell me spring is on the way. By the way, it is the 14th of March, so that is an early Smoothound. So my next bait to go out is a dull sand eel. I've literally just chopped them off at the gills and then chopped them off at the top. And then I've just whipped them up and I'm just going to place my bottom hook in between all these little bits here, just in between the two so that it tucks in nice and tight. And I'm just going to whip the other one straight into the top there. And then I'm going to send that out on the drop down. We'll see if we can find anything on that. That was a definite bite. Sorry, mate. Green one. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, another dogfish, another chunky one. I mean, considerably larger than the Smoothound we had. Probably not too far off the length of it, but definitely a lot chunkier on the belly. I mean, if this was a comp, these would be some pretty decent dogfish that are coming in here. We'd be weighing in pretty well. Anyway, let's get this guy back and see what else we can find. So guys, so far that is 3 for the drop down and 1 for the Bagnall bar, but the Bagnall bar did produce the Smoothound, although it did bend the bar a little bit. So it is slightly kinked now, but I have straightened it out as best I can. But I've got quite a big bait out on the Bagnall bar now, and I've got to admit that managed to cast it quite nicely. That having it so close to the weight and having all that sort of rig mainly in one section does feel quite nice when you cast it. But let's see if it can drag us something a little bit more special out than a few dogfish. Hey guys, so we're about an hour off the top of the tide now. It has gone a little bit slow now, but this is a venue that does fish best tied up. Once you start to get towards the top of the tide, if we had a bit more sort of swell to it, could be a good time for some bass. But there's not too much water movement. I mean, we could have still have a chance of a bass. But I'm gonna keep plugging away and see if I can find that ray. You never know, I might be lucky, but the sort of area that I want to be fishing in is a bit further out, and I'm probably just quite a bit short of where I want to be right now. So we're now at the top of the tide. It's now getting to the point of last casts. So I'm just going to send fresh baits out on both of the rods, and I'm going to go back to what I started on, which is a single sand eel with a wrap of squid on it. We'll just see if anything can come in. Current score is 3 to the drop down and 1 to the Bagnall bar. So at the moment the drop down has been doing better, but 3 dogfish versus 1 small Smoothound. Neither of them are really overly impressive. So if one of them can land something special, I think we're claiming that as the win. It's at this point that my microphone decided to die, so I will try and voice over what happens, but we're nearly at the end, so it shouldn't affect the video too bad. So we're just on the last cast of the night, and my right rod, which is the drop down, has just gone again with a small bite. Looks to be a dogfish. As it turned out, it was another dogfish, which brought the score to 4 to the drop down and 1 to the Bagnall bar. And that's it for tonight's video. So if you are enjoying my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next video, I'll see you then.